Hi. Hey. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, please do subscribe to my channel, turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. So let me just start my YouTube. No, we're on YouTube already. Let me start my Facebook broadcast. Just 1 second. Hi, Facebook. Welcome. I'm here today to talk about something. So as you guys know, oftentimes the things I talk about are the very things that, weigh heavily on my mind, or just things that get me to think. I had seen a post earlier today, and it was talking about meth addicts. And, I know quite a few addicts, quite a few. I myself don't have struggles with addiction in that way, or just addiction in general. But I do know quite a few. I know quite a few people who have this struggle. And it's one of the things that really, really tugs at my heart space, because there's so much misconception about addiction. People often don't realize the addiction, it abused everyone, including the addict. It victimized everyone involved, including the addict. And I had seen a comment, and it's not necessarily about a specific person making the comment, but the energy behind the comment is such a common one, where so much disdain for those who have addiction. And from the work that I've done, I've found that addiction, and I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not some sort of certified drug recovery expert or any of that. But I am an expert in life, the life that I've lived, the things that I've witnessed, and everything that I've seen points to the same common denominator. People who have addiction struggles are people who have not bonded with at least one other person. We all need at least one person in this life who we feel safe with, who we can trust. And what I've noticed with addiction is that these human beings did not have that. Now, is it to say that it's because the parents are bad? It takes an entire village to raise a child. Everyone that's had contact with this child has the power to bond with them, to prevent addiction struggles later in life. So it's not just one person. And I'm finding, when people take on the responsibility of another person's journey, they have this guilt that they failed somehow. And then they begin saying, it's the addict's fault and this and that. I don't even hold your pain against you. Like, the addiction victimized everyone. I don't know a single person that's like, you know what? Dog, I'd like to be an addict. I don't know a single person. Every single addict that I know cries about how many people they've hurt, how they don't deserve love. There's already so much hurt that goes around when it comes to addiction. Does it really add to the solution to begin separating yourself from a circumstance and putting the blame on that individual? Personally, and I'm not always right, personally, I feel like it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't solve anything. All it does is perpetuate a very real global issue. This is a societal disease. This is not a failure in parenting. This is not, you didn't get enough cuddles from mommy. This is a very deeply rooted wound. that the individual continues to try and fill up with numbers because it hurts so much. And in that case, I mean, well, what kind of person are you to hold the wounds of another against them? Does that make you a bad person? I don't think so either. I think this tells me you carry deep wounds as well. And this subject matter reopens those wounds. It's hard. It's hard to see people hurting in such a way and not being able to get through to the heart of what's causing their pain when they refuse to see that they're bleeding all over people who had nothing to do with the infliction of that wound. And I'm just the kind of person where it's like, let me help you clean it up. I mean, it doesn't matter. What good is it going to do if I sit here criticizing you about how you're making a mess? Why don't we just clean it up? We know what the problem is. We know what's making the mess. If someone's bleeding all over your floor, is debating over why they're bleeding going to solve the circumstance? Or do you apply pressure? Loving pressure to staunch the bleed? Do you calm them? Do you ask them to breathe? Slow your heart so you bleed less? Or do you scream at them and tell them, you're making a mess? Oh my God, what is your problem? You're getting blood all over the place. Go stand outside. Like, what's that going to do? They're just going to be bleeding right outside your door. Addicts are not the issue. The issue is such a deeply ingrained programming of separation, division. Addiction is a symptom presentation. That's all it is. Symptom presentation of a far-reaching, very deeply rooted societal wound. So how do we fix this? Well, we can begin by choosing to no longer see ourselves as the only ones being victimized by an addict. Because I promise you, that addict is just as victimized as you are. I promise you this. And, you know, I've found that people have a much easier time releasing that addiction when there's at least one person who's safe to them. Not a person who enables, not a person who coddles, but a person who holds the flashlight so they can see the wound as they clean it out themselves. I personally know quite a few people who struggled with major addiction, and I sat there with them. No judgments, just like, let me hold the flashlight. You need both your hands to clean that wound. Let me hold the flashlight for you. Kathy, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I'm not mad at her. This is a subject matter that needs to be spoken about. And this is her gift. The fact that the conversation occurred is actually a gift, because this is something that people need to understand. I don't feel like she's a bad person at all, Kathy. I don't feel like she's bad. I feel like she hasn't understood she doesn't need to carry the blame for this, that it was more than just a failed parenting attempt. That in every single direction, that child was failed. Every single person that was involved looked the other way. No one reached out a hand. She's not the problem. She's gifting us with an opportunity to begin a conversation about the real problem, which is separation, division, our refusal to see that things such as addiction, things like war, apartheid, all these things that we know is wrong, yet continues to exist. These are all ways in which society has been separated. We all get victimized. With those type of circumstance, everyone that's involved, including those who simply witness it, are being victimized. No one gets out of that without some kind of wound, whether it be the parent or the siblings or the aunts and uncles. No one does. Everyone that witnesses it, everyone that's aware of it is affected. It has such a deep ripple effect, very, very deep. And one of the things we can do to begin implementing an actual solution is talking about it, just as we are right now. Trying to sweep it under the rug, it makes the wound fester. It doesn't just perpetuate it, it confirms the need for this crutch. You only need a crutch if you don't understand that you can walk on both legs, that you're strong enough to stand on both your legs, that you're balanced. It's the only time you need a crutch, energetically speaking. But it's hard to witness the hurting continuing. You know, I know many parents who are the mother or father of an addict blame themselves. Do you need to blame? I mean, is that even necessary? Wasting time and energy on assigning blame for a societal wound. Jazzy Tay asks, how do you get better? You provide a sanctuary within your heart for someone who needs it. No judgments, no expectations, no telling them that they're coping with life in the wrong way. It's okay to let them know you don't agree with their choices, but that doesn't make them any less worthy of love. Because that's really one of the main issues that causes addiction. The individual feels unloved, feels like they don't matter. They've failed to bond with at least one other person. And so they begin to bond with a substance. Jazzy Tay, if you feel like you need to, please do. Please do. There's nothing spiritual about ignoring your needs because you're ashamed of what other people will think about your self-care choices. You deserve to have the assistance that you need. I mean, I'd offer it, but I'm not licensed in any of this. I can simply sit there with you in the darkness so you don't feel alone. And sometimes that's enough for people with addiction, just to know they're not alone, just to know someone cares. Not out of pity, but out of recognition that they are a soul, a sovereign soul, a sacred piece of creation. Jazzy, you're right, I cannot get myself out of this darkness. What I found to be true for most addicts, not all, but most, they're so busy looking down because of the shame. And all they see is this muddy, dark hole failing to realize by simply looking up, they'll know all they have to do is stand, because the hole really isn't that deep. All they have to do is stand. All you have to do is look up. That's it. It's very simple. Acknowledge you're hurting. Acknowledge what the addiction is doing for you. It's taking the place of something that's missing. What's missing? What's missing? Is it love? Is it understanding? Is it friendship? Is it acceptance? Or is what's missing your understanding that you don't need outside validation to exist, to be worthy? Does God need validation to exist? Does God need all of us on this planet to believe in it to exist? No. God simply does. God's that powerful, right? Well, within you is a spark from God. That's what powers your body. Your body is a biospiritual machine. Once that spark leaves the body cannot be sustained. By definition, you are a lower reflection or a fractal of God. And because of that definition, you contain within you the power to simply exist without the need for permission or validation. And maybe it's time you recognize that. This goes beyond the notion like we're all gods and goddesses. This is just how I know things to be. And that sometimes, say you're right, when I don't feel loved, I'm in darkness. What if it's in that darkness you were meant to discover yourself? What if that darkness is nothing but a type of love that you're too afraid to explore? What if you're afraid to be by yourself because you don't know what you're going to find? And maybe that fear is rooted in you finding actual greatness that will negate this illusion you've existed within. What if it's cognitive dissonance? There's a lot of what ifs. And every single what if is a valid what if. Every single one of them is a valid what if. And they become your reality once you begin to put energy into them. Once you begin to commit yourself into believing that what if is a reality, it comes to fruition. That's how God created. By thinking what if and then focusing on it until it was breathed into being. Maybe you need to begin breathing. Maybe this addiction is you holding your breath, waiting to exhale. Maybe that panic that you feel is the knowing that you're not going to be able to hold your breath much longer. That the truth is about to come out, it's about to release, and that scares you. I'm doing my work, writing, praying, searching, writing, burning, my work, and trying. That's the thing, Jazzy, you don't have to try. It's this knowing that this journey is ripening your inner understanding so you can best serve in the capacity you came into this life to serve. And maybe the hurts that you've experienced, the hurts you've survived through, is the very training you needed in order to serve the demographic you're here to serve. Maybe it's a part of your journey to become a counselor. Maybe it's a part of your journey to run an actual house where you can have people come and you can be their sanctuary like no one was for you. Remove yourself from the circumstance just for a moment. Look at it objectively. What was I supposed to learn from this? What is it? What is it that I'm missing? Because the moment you learn it, I promise you the lesson ends. The moment you learn what it is you were supposed to in this dark time, the light shines real bright and you understand exactly what you need to do. And sometimes the addiction is really just to understand the opposite end of the spectrum, because all your other lives, you didn't have that kind of struggle. Sometimes it's not such a huge thing where you're here to save people. And that's also okay. That's also okay. You ask God in darkness all the time. God's inside you. God is the everything and the nothing and the spaces in between. God is the darkness. God is the light. God is the shadow. God is everything. Do you need to ask? Or can you simply know that everything is happening for you? Being a Pisces sucks. I'm tired of feeling so deeply. It's that ability to feel so deeply that makes you such a formidable gift, a formidable tool in healing, because you're in a world that's forgotten how to feel, that's put so much emphasis on the facade. Maybe it's the perceptions that need to be adjusted. Maybe you don't see with clarity because your perceptions cause you to continue to participate in a paradigm of separation, division, shame, guilt. Some of the most amazing people that I know are actually addicts, the most loving. And they're so loving because they feel like they've never received that kind of love, and they just love. I mean, I can't speak for all addicts, but I'm definitely speaking for the addicts that I personally know. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's not a single one that I know that this doesn't hold true for. There might be some who are an exception. I don't know who they are. All the ones that I know are capable of loving so deeply and completely, especially the people who help them to see they're so worthy of love. And this is not about making people feel bad because they don't understand addiction, they don't understand addicts. This is about helping you to begin questioning, how has my perception allowed for the perpetuation of this? You know, the same thing applies for homelessness. You know, how do I see homeless people that causes me to perpetuate the stigma of being homeless? And for any of you that, you know, sit there and think that I'm full of shit, that I can say these things because I live in a house. And no, I'm the face of homelessness. I've been homeless. And I continue to love and help other people. I didn't talk about it. I didn't ask for donations. As a matter of fact, I did ask for donations for others while I lived in homelessness, because I knew I was allowed to experience that on this path for a reason. I needed to understand something. And that experience was the only way for me to understand it. Do I feel badly? Do I feel ashamed? No, it's one of the most beautiful periods of my life. One of the most beautiful, one of the most peaceful, one of the most freeing periods of my life. And it was in that moment that I understood just a fraction of why I'm here. I understood just a little bit better the gravity of what I do for others, how it affects them. We're all so beyond worthy of love. All of us. You don't have to earn love. By virtue of your existence, you are entitled to love, real love. Not that cupcake sugar-coated bullshit, coddling all your fears. I'm talking about real love. We'll all be real with you. Your behavior is out of hand. That's real love. Stop thinking so badly of yourself. You're amazing. That's real love. Just existing in your authenticity and allowing yourself to shine. Not as an image of perfection. Mm-mm. Shine like a phoenix rising from her own ashes. Nothing shines brighter than that. And maybe some of us need to acknowledge that's the reason why we fall so deep and burn so hard. Because you're calling to you all those who share the same wounds so they can witness your rise. And in witnessing your rise, it reignites their own sacred flame and encourages them to rise as well. You know, this is not about a specific person's like comment and I don't agree. No, this is like a global issue, a societal issue. It's time, Jazzy, let yourself burn. Let it all burn. Including the bridges you took to get into that hole. Burn them all. Let them all burn. And in that fire, you'll be gifted with the light to find your path again. No one is going to save you but yourself. I can definitely keep you company, but I can't save anyone. None of us are here in a savior capacity. This concept of we're here to save others, that's a messiah complex. That's a covert tool of the very paradigm you think you're attempting to dismantle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Seriously. You have no idea what a gift it is to have running water. Electricity. AC. It's not to say that people who have these things are ungrateful. It's to say that sometimes we lose sight of what's actually important, what actually matters, what it is we're here to learn. I mean, we are each other's teachers, all of us. We teach each other things without even realizing. And, you know, I share this sometimes. A really good friend of mine, one of the most profound gifts she has ever given me was a simple statement when I first began live streaming. He saw me with my notebook trying to jot down bullet points of things I will discuss in a live stream to make sure that I don't touch on anything taboo or, you know, say anything inappropriate, because he knew I lacked the filter and I would just blurt things out. And he told me, and it's stuck with me all these years, he told me, don't never edit yourself. Love people enough to give them the freedom to choose, freely choose what of you that you share that will gift them with greater clarity for themselves. You don't get to decide how you affect others, which of your words will affect them in what way. So live a life unedited. Allow yourself to just exist as you are, sharing what comes out of your mouth. Just share it. And I was like, what if I say the wrong thing? What if people want to argue? What if it gets crazy on a live stream? And he's like, that's where you excel. That's what you were made for. You never notice how you get calm when people contradict you, when they challenge you. That's when your power swells. Embrace it. And I was like, Whoa! You mean it's okay? I thought that was a dysfunction. And he's like, oh, girl. Oh, girl. I thought it was a dysfunction. I thought it was. Just like how a lot of people think that their addiction is a sort of dysfunction. It's not a dysfunction, it's a symptom presentation of a void left within them, a void that hasn't been filled. Creation does not like voids. It will always seek to create homeostasis, a balance. So if you have a void within you, you're going to seek to fill it. And that's fine. That's okay. But please choose to fill that void with something that will grow you in a less painful way. Addiction grows you. When you can get through it, it will grow you in ways that people will not be able to understand. Unless you have suffered through that level of addiction, you will not be able to understand the kind of path this person has traveled. I don't care if you're their parent. I don't care if you're their sibling, their wife, their husband, their aunt, their uncle, their neighbor. You will not understand exactly what they went through unless you go through it yourself. Because I guarantee addicts are so silent in their pain. They very rarely share the pain that initiated the addiction to begin with, unless you're safe. And you're not safe if you hold judgments. Pity is a type of condemnation. You've allowed your ego to flare. You think you're so much better. You have your life in order. So here, let me send out a little extra love, my little extra stuff, because I feel badly for you. Pity is one of the most disgusting things I've ever experienced. If I do something for you, it's not because I feel badly for you. It's because I recognize you need a reminder that you are my fucking equal. Get your head out of your ass. You are my equal. We do this together. I don't pity you. I'm not above you. I don't have my life in order. And I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to learn in this mess. You're supposed to learn in this mess. Order comes from a lack of understanding that we came from chaos. We were born of the cosmos. Cosmos is chaos. From that chaos came order. After the learning of what that explosive energy could do. Creation is destruction. In the grand scheme of things, we are a totality, scaled down. In your destruction is also your rebirth. Why are you so afraid to die? Why are you so afraid to let those things about you that you thought you knew be laid to rest? When you've outgrown them, all they do is rot. Do you want to be the walking dead? Or do you want to continue to live? Through your entire life, whether you're an addict or not, you will continue to experience cycles of birth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death. And people will say, you've changed, you're different. Yes, you are different. You're meant to continue growing for the entirety of your life. Your entire life. You are meant to change and evolve as an individual. And you can allow this to happen to you, or you can cultivate what you're growing into. You can use the very things that you're experiencing in life to help form the structure, the foundation from which you are going to raise the most beautiful sanctuary, not just for yourself, but for other people as well. And all it takes is you being brave enough to see what a gift you are. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take any of that. The very first step is the recognition of who and what you are. And if we're really going to be honest, who and what each of us are We all start as an unspoken prayer. Someone was alive and their heart begged God for you to exist. Tell me that's not beautiful. You are an unspoken prayer made into being. Gifting the people that you come across without even knowing, without even trying, gifting them with tidbits of knowledge that they could have never had without you. And do you have to try? No. Just like you don't have to earn omni-love. You've got to remember who and what you are. The more power you recognize within you, the more confirmation you're being given of your ability and obligation to assist other people. This reclamation of your power, your birthright, it's not to flex and show other people you're stronger. It means you have volunteered to help. You have volunteered to go through all of your life lessons, have a very difficult life, so you are at your best level of understanding of this human condition and how to correct it, how to restore balance. That's awesome, Chris. People call me a breath of fresh air. Wow. And imagine the gravity of that statement in a world full of people holding their breaths. Have you ever held your breath? Hold your breath right now for as long as you can until you begin to panic. Hold your breath. And then tell me how you feel when you take that first deep breath of air again. That should give you a very good understanding, Chris, of the gravity of that statement, breath of fresh air. So, Jazzy, how to restore balance? It's our nature to seek balance without trying. When you continue to try, when you continue to allow your perceptions to dictate the definition of that balance, you will almost always get the answer wrong. And you will continue to try. And you will probably continue to fail. And at some point, you'll get frustrated. You'll work yourself to the point of failure. And you'll get frustrated. And it's at that moment when you give up, when you stop thinking you know everything, that the truth comes in and balance returns. The problem is the monkey mind thinking it knows everything, negating the wisdom of soul. Soul guides you. And then we sit there and we question it. And we go against it. And we try and find ways and reasons why we're justified in not doing it. And, you know, someone had commented, like, they don't like the fact that I used the word submission because it was evil, like they had to submit to something evil. I shared that logic before. I did. And then I recognized the only one I'm submitting to is myself. Does that mean I'm evil? And I took a look at myself, a good hard look. And I tore myself apart. I really, really did. I tore myself apart and I looked at every aspect. Everything that I thought was good, everything that I thought was questionable, everything that I knew was bad about me. And I came to only one conclusion. God created me the way I am. And whether I understand it or not, it was done for a reason. And I'm here to love. however that love comes out of me, whether it be firm or soft, that's what's appropriate for that moment. I'm going to trust that I'm being guided in such a way that heals everyone involved to the greatest degree. And oftentimes I don't understand, and that's okay. That's okay, because in my desire to understand, I looked even deeper and I recognize that desire to understand for me personally, and this applies to so many other people as well, that want to understand before you comply is rooted in fear. Because if I understand what's about to happen, I can then begin to formulate ways in which to avoid it, to avoid the pain. Because let's face it, as a society, we're afraid of pain. Even birthing pains, we're so afraid of feeling. Because heaven fucking forbid you feel the gravity of what you're doing. You're bringing a new life into this world. And heaven forbid you feel that life traveling down. You feel the pressures and the pain of having a love so profound that it became flesh. Heaven fucking forbid we feel to that depth. Because we're just so afraid. So afraid. Afraid of what? Recognizing what you can do. My first child, I was afraid. Every child after that, I'm willing to hurt for you. I'm willing. Not only will I survive this, everything that I feel as I bring you into being, I will remember. That's your gift to me. It's not just my gift to you. That's your gift to me. That pain is teaching me something so profound about myself. And in my bringing you into this world, you are gifting me with things I never knew about myself, because a mother did not exist until that child came to be. You as a mother didn't exist until that child came out. You were a completely different woman from the moment before the child arrived to the moment after. You change. You become different. That pain changes you. Stop being so afraid to feel pain. Pain is the greatest teacher you will ever have in this life. The greater the pain, the greater the lesson, the longer you will remember it. Remember that. When you begin to have these conversations with yourself, especially people who are addicts, when you begin to feel like you're being broken, no, you're being broken so that we can clear away the bullshit so we can rebuild you into something fortified. And when you begin to have these internal conversations where you're thinking, I've hurt for so long, then you will fucking remember this lesson for the rest of your life. You will not forget any of this. And that primes you to be an amazing, amazing assistant for someone else. You're assisting someone else in their own birthing process. And maybe you should just appreciate the fact that you are who you are. Appreciate the fact that you've lived such a full life, full of lessons, and so much wisdom waiting to be harvested. And honestly, if you keep a plant under lights 24 hours a day, it's detrimental for the plant. They have their cycles where they need darkness. And really, what is humanity? Nothing but an orchard. We are all trees in an orchard of life, bearing the fruit that will sustain others when they are tired, being the shelter, being a sanctuary, resting beneath our leaves, our branches, offering them shade and rest. That's what we are. We're growing an orchard. Hey, you know what? One of the most efficient ways to grow an orchard in a very healthy way is to provide a very healthy cycle of light and dark, as well as surrounding the roots of that tree with shit. Fertilizer is very nutritious for the tree. So when you feel like you're surrounded by shit, just know God is preparing to grow you. When you begin crying, just know you're being watered. When you're in darkness, just know God is making sure that your leaves don't get burned, so you can continue to grow and rise higher and higher, closer to the light of your truth. We're all unique. All of us are special in our own ways. All of us have a very specific role to play in someone else's life. One is no more important than another. Really. No more important. So, Jazzy, it seems like you're getting some of your internal truths rising to the surface. And again, if you feel like you still need to go get professional assistance, you never know. Many of the healers, the empathic healers, choose to enter the medical field. There might be a person you need to meet if you go. You just don't know. I don't know. Follow your heart. If you feel you need to, then go. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in taking responsibility for your path. None at all. At all. So guys, I think all my saltiness is gone from this morning. I was salty AF all morning. What do you call it? I'm gonna get going. I need to go work out. I was cussing at the equipment. My app told me to use the rowing machine. Row! Bullshit. And then the guy walking past, he's like, I was like, okay, keep walking, man. Keep walking while I do this. So, you guys, we are who we are. You know, we go through periods just like the moon. We wax and wane. We feel emotions, passion, lethargy. You know, we swing on that plane of existence. That's what you're meant to do. You were never meant to be static, stuck in one place. That's not the point of life. You're supposed to swing. She came in like a wrecking ball. She never swung so hard at love. I'm gonna listen to that song. But the energies are intense with all the planetary bullshit. I'm not a planet person. I don't know what's going on. I'm not a planet person, okay? I just know this is some really shitty energy going around. I don't like it. I'm gonna switch it up. And then that's it, okay? That's it. You guys do whatever you need to do to get centered in yourselves and begin really walking your path. And again, there's nothing wrong with burning, okay? Be that phoenix. Allow yourself to be sparked in a blaze of glory. And rise, just rise. So I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. If this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Facebook, please follow, share it out, do what y'all gotta do. I love everyone, addicts, non-addicts. I love everyone. I seriously do. I mean, I have love for everyone, but that don't show up at my door. You'll get a whole nother response. Oh, also, I just wanted to put this out there. I received an amazingly amazingly beautiful gift. Like, I'm gonna cry. Okay, it's like a ridiculously beautiful, beautiful gift. And I want to go and visit it. So I'm thinking I might be offering an opportunity to have like a very outdoorsy retreat with me for like a weekend. This will be an in-person retreat, not online. You would come to the location and we would just do a lot of energetic work. You guys can talk to me all day, and just kind of pick my brain, any questions. We could teach each other things, share of each other's journeys, and a few other details that I am kind of working on. But yeah, if this is something you guys really, really want to be a part of, please email my page. I don't know my email. Contact at emmyevolving.com. Contact at emmyevolving.com. And that way you can be put on a list of people who are interested. And once I have the details hammered out, we'll definitely email you and let you know the details. With that, I'm not sure exactly when. I kind of want to do it sooner rather than later, but my schedule is insane. So yeah, I'll post my email. And that email is also in the description of the YouTube video. So if it's something you guys want to partake in, it's 4:44. Love it. Love it. Then definitely email and you'll be put on a waiting list for when I have more concrete details. It's just, it's a beautiful thing when the most beautiful souls find you and help encourage you when you're needing it the most, even if you don't realize how much you need it. And they just come and it happens. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And so I'd love to share physical space with you guys at some point. Physical space. It will most likely be near a specific forest. So I'll share it with you guys. It's beautiful. Someone I got mail yesterday. Someone purchased 100 trees to be planted in my mom's name, to be planted in a forest in her name. And I just want to lay under the branches of her trees and share with her all the knowing that I've gotten just in the past few months. And just lay there and share that space with you guys. Because it was a journey that the two of us took together, and she knew I was making these posts. She knew that I would talk about her in live streams. And what better way to honor her than to share her trees with you? So that's going to be where the retreat would be, in that area. So it would really be like unless I can find an Airbnb or something, figure something out with lodging, it would probably be like a camping type trip. And for y'all that don't know me, your girl has no problem with dry camping, primitive camping, no running water, no nothing for miles on end. I'm rugged like that. I'll do that. But if it's not something you can do, definitely put that in the email, and maybe I can find something that's nearby that can accommodate everyone's level of savagery. um no, it's not California. It's a different state, but I'll definitely share details as I begin to solidify them. So thank you guys so much for sharing this space with me. Looking forward to seeing those who are able to come and spend time with me. I'll definitely post updates. All right, bye guys.